Hi friends! We have officially hit 2,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I just wanted to say thank you all so much. Today I will be answering your questions in this 2K Q&A special. Let's go! Okay, I'm starting with the question which were asked the most. Favorite game of all time? What's your favorite Mario game? Favorite Nintendo game? Favorite Nintendo game? Favorite Nintendo 64 game? What's your favorite game? What's your favorite Wii U game? So to answer the question, I made a little list of what game is my favorite of each console. On the NES, it's Kirby's Dream Land. I really enjoyed playing the game back then, and I still really like it. On the Super Nintendo, there's not really a favorite since I didn't own it in my childhood, so there's no game that I played a lot on it. On the Nintendo 64, my favorite Mario game on the Nintendo 64 is Mario 64, and my favorite general game on Nintendo 64 is Gauntlet Legends. I've played this game so many times and so many hours. I really enjoy this game. It's my absolute favorite on a Nintendo 64. On the GameCube, it's Sunshine. On the Wii, it's obviously Wii Sports Resort. I binged the game hours, over days, over weeks, over years. It is my absolute favorite. On the Wii U, it's the same problem like the Super Nintendo. I didn't own one in my childhood, teenhood, so there's not much experience with the console. On the Switch, it is Luigi's Mansion. More about it later in another question. On the Switch 2, there is no favorite yet, but so far I really enjoy Donkey Kong because you can just destroy everything and I really enjoy doing that. And going over to the handhelds, which weren't mentioned in any question, but I'm still answering. On a classic DS, including the DS Lite and also DSi, I think, it is probably Nintendogs because I played the game the most. And Animal Crossing. Since it's 3 unique handhelds, I would say Nintendogs and Animal Crossing. But then going over to the 3DS, on the 3DS it's getting more complicated because I played Miitopia and Tomodachi Life like a lot. I grinded Miitopia to 100%, and on Tomodachi Life I almost collected everything that you can buy, so those games are really my favorite, both. I cannot pick one. And on the Switch Lite, which is also a handheld, there's no favorite yet, but it will be probably the new Tomodachi, and I can't wait to get the game. Going over to the next most asked question, what inspired you to make content and what's your favorite game at the moment? What motivates you to create content? What made you want to start the channel? Long story short, watch my first YouTube video. Like many people, I've dreamed myself of making content, being a content creator, starting YouTube, making let's plays, like all this stuff. But I never really had the time to do so. But some month ago, me and my friend suddenly had a lot of time. So I asked her, why not starting YouTube together? Because it's more motivating and more fun if you have someone to share what you're doing. Next question, and it's also a question that I get like under every video I post. Simple question, but why are you always moving? Is it like a Mario type of idle animation? Why the dancing on the videos? Just curious. And let me tell you, under every video I post, there's a question, why are you moving so much? Why do you bounce? Why the moving? Stop bouncing, stop moving. Why are you jumping? And the answer to this is, I wear a mask. But I would really like to show myself, but I can't express emotions while wearing a mask. So I thought how to make it look like I'm talking. And then I thought, why not doing little head movements to mimic talking? So that's pretty much the answer to why I'm moving so much. To give the expression of an emotion or motion in general. Next question. When did you start to like Nintendo? Why do you like Nintendo? Especially the Wii. It started when I was pretty young, like 6 or 7 years old. So me liking Nintendo is pretty much very nostalgic. Since my father back then bought an Atari, also bought the NES and the Nintendo 64 and the GameCube and the Wii. So I was always surrounded by Nintendo consoles. I also owned the Game Boy Classic and the Game Boy Pocket and the Game Boy Color and the Game Boy Advance and the Game Boy Advance SP. So pretty much every console that was available. So pretty much my father is the reason why I like Nintendo so much, because he bought everything that Nintendo offered. Going to the next question, what is your first Nintendo game? What was your first video game? And to answer that, I'm going way back where it all started. When I was like 6 or 7 years old, I was in our living room and I saw a box on the top of our shelf. And I asked my parents, what is this box? But I already looked into the box, but I wasn't telling them. It was secret. So they picked up the box, put it down, and showed me there is a Nintendo 64. So we opened the box and connected it to the TV, and that was the beginning of it all. And my first game, I'm not sure, it was either Mario 64 or Mario Kart 64. But I think it was Mario Kart 64. But I'm not sure. So now going over to all the single questions that I got. Do you listen to Bibi No Money or Boy with Uke? Is it called like that? I did heard some songs from Boy with Uke, but I'm not actively listening to his songs. But Bibi No Money is not really avoidable. His songs are all over the internet, especially on TikTok, every reel, like you can't avoid him, and I really like his music. So I do listen, not actively, but passively to Bibi No Money, so yeah. Cats or dogs? I like pretty much every animal, but I do prefer the cats. Do you like JoJo's? I haven't watched it yet, but I do like it. GameCube or Nintendo 64? Tough question. Game-wise, it's a really tough question, because I really like both, and both have really a lot of memories to me. On the GameCube, there's a lot of memory with Sonic Adventure Battle 2 and the Chao Garden. I cared for the Chaos so much. I loved them really, really a lot. And on the Nintendo 64, I actually have more games I enjoyed. On the GameCube, it was pretty much only Adventure 2 because of the Chaos. They're really... No, there's Sunshine. Okay, there are two games. There are two really good games on it, but the Nintendo 64 I used more since I did own the Nintendo 64. A girl in my neighborhood owned the GameCube, and I played a lot of GameCube over at her place, but at my place I only had the Nintendo 64. So I would say I prefer the Nintendo 64 because of Diddy Kong Racing, Mario Kart 64, Super Mario 64, and Gauntlet. I binged Gauntlet. What do you think about the homebrew community? I personally never played D&D, but I do like the D&D community because of all the artists that are at the community. I'm an artist myself, so I really enjoy them. It's all fantasy and whimsical and magical, so I'm not part of it, but I think I like it. Are you feeling lucky? Haha, haha. Well, yeah, I do. Actually, that's pretty much the reason why I'm called Lucky. Who's your favorite Nintendo character? It is Peach. I really love Peach. She's my Shayla, she's cute, she's pink, she's my everything. Peach is my favorite character. Do you play Roblox? No, but I really like Sebastian. What is your favorite Final Fantasy game? I've never played Final Fantasy, so there's no favorite to me. Who wins, 100 Power Goombas versus 10 Lakitus? I talked with my friend about it, and we both came to the same conclusion. If it would be 100 Goombas versus 10 Lakitus, the Lakitus would win, because they can fly. And they throw those spiky little shell things. But since it's 100 Power Goombas, they can fly too. So I think that the 100 Power Goombas would beat the shit out of the Lakitus. Changed my mind. When did you start your job? Well, the Google definition of a job is that you get paid for what you do. And I am not earning any money with what I'm doing. So far, it's not a job. But maybe one day it will be my job and it would be really awesome. Do you want some fan art? Yeah, sure, I would love to. I really appreciate everyone who did fan art for me. And I will add all the fan art I got in the last weeks in the end of the video. What's your favorite colored Yoshi? It's the pink one. Is there a Nintendo franchise you would like to see a new game being announced? I would say a new Mario 3D game. It's time. It's been many years. We need a new one. Please, Nintendo, finally release a new one. Are you Team Luigi or Team Mario? I personally really like Luigi. He's super cute and super sweet, so I prefer him. What's the best Nintendo game you have ever played last year? The best Nintendo game I have played last year was Luigi's Mansion. I've played the third one for the first time last year and I really enjoyed it. I played it for the first time, I spent a whole week, I spent over 20 hours and I beat the boss, which was so incredible hard. It took me, I think, 3 tries, but it was so much much fun collecting all the gems, collecting all the boosts, collecting all the ghosts. The story was really nice. The many layers of the hotel was really good. And I reached the A rank on the first try, since I've collected like 90,000. How are you? I'm good. How are you? Are you tough? I'm the toughest one. What are your plans after 100k? First, is Nishi visiting me? Because if I win this bet, she has to visit me, which I'm so excited about. And my plans after 100k is probably continue, since so far it's a lot of fun. And I mean, the next goal would be 1 million. I know it's a little unrealistic, but hey, why not dreaming about it? How was your experience unboxing the Nintendo Wii for the first time? I have not unboxed the Wii back then because I didn't own the Wii back then. So I can't tell you. Do you have any CTRs in your collection, and what obscure tech do you have? Sadly, I do not have a CTR. It would be awesome if I still have the really cute small one I had back then. I remember playing Wii on a small CTR who was probably smaller than your computer screen. For playing my games, I do have a flat screen with SCART, and I have an adapter to connect the consoles to the TV. And obscure techs? Probably nothing, since I'm only collecting like the officially Nintendo consoles and the Nintendo handhelds. There's not much other tech I have collected so far. Tomodachi Life or Miitopia? Tough question. Because as I said before, I really enjoy both. Both are such amazing games. Miitopia, I binged 100%. I collected almost everything in Tomodachi Life, so both games are really amazing. But I would say in the long run, it is Tomodachi Life, because there's no real end to it. There's always something happening, the characters evolving, like taking care of them, like getting everything 1000% in Tomodachi Life is more time consuming than Miitopia. Miitopia is like a little dungeon crawler where you collect stuff, you level up. Yes, it takes time to get all the achievements to reach 100%, but it's, I think, faster possible than in Tomodachi Life. So long story short answer, I would say Tomodachi Life. And I'm really excited about the new one. What do you like the most, Nintendo Switch 1 or Nintendo Switch 2? Also, tough question. I'm really indecisive, since I do like every console in its own unique way. So there's no better one or worse one or absolute favorite. Like each console have their own unique special thing about it. And that's why I do love each console on its own. But I think with the Switch, it's almost like with the DS. There are like many versions. There's the first Switch, then there was the Switch with the blue and red controllers, then there was the OLED, then there's the Lite, then there's the Switch 2. So it's like DS Classic, DS Lite, DSi, 3DS, like all those versions of the same thing. But if I wouldn't own any Switch so far, I do own all three. I would say I would pick the Switch 2, like it's the most evolved and the most developed, and you can play Switch 1 and Switch 2 games on it, so there's a broader variety of games to it. I personally love my Switch Lite because it's smaller and it's gold. I got the Legend of Zelda edition, of course. But if I wouldn't own any, I would pick the Switch 2. Do you play Smash Bros. Casually or competitive? Your main? I do play it casual, because I'm not much of a competitive player. I don't want to be the best, I don't want to beat you, I don't want to be hardcore gaming everything. Gaming for me is more like enjoying the time, having a good time with friends. I mean, that's pretty much the mantra of Nintendo, like having connections, having friends, sharing experience. So I'm not competitive. I am really lucky, since I'm not a tryharder, but still manage to beat the shit out of everyone in Mario Party. For whatever reason, I'm not tryharding at all, really. But I still have the most stars in the end of every Mario Party game. And my main on a Nintendo 64, it was Yoshi, because he's so cute. Later on, it was Peach, because Peach is my Shayla, she's my princess, she's my everything, she is the moment. My main, it's hard to tell, since I do enjoy many of them. Mostly I picked my main not on who's the strongest or who has the better stats, it was more aesthetic. I picked Meta Knight because he looks really badass. I picked Link because he's so cool with his sword and his shield and everything about him. I picked Peach because she's a beautiful princess. So picking the characters was mostly connected to the vibes and less who's the strongest. Favorite character of Nintendo and Sega respectively. My favorite Nintendo character I already answered, it's Peach. She's beautiful, she's everything. And from Sega, I would say probably Silver, because as child or young teen, I had a really big crush on him and he's really cute. And I really like characters who have magic and have white hair. In his case, it was white fur. But yeah, Silver was one of my favorites. I really, really liked him back then and I still do. But I'm a little bit too old to still like him. Your peak, stay strong queen. My peak? And thanks, I try my best. What's your Mario spin-off game main? I'm really indecisive since there are many good games. But I would say the Wario Land and WarioWare games were really, really good. Also, Super Mario Strikers for the GameCube was such an hilarious, over-the-top special effect game. But I would say the top one would be Luigi's Mansion, since it's a lot of cleaning and collecting and just the vibe and everything is so different from all the other games, so I really, really like that one. Do you play any dinosaur games? Yes, I did play it. I don't play dinosaur games anymore, but back then I played Turok on a PC. Even though I found out that there was a Turok game on the Nintendo 64, which I never saw in my life. And it looks really creepy. It's like low poly, obviously. And there's like a lot of fog and the dinosaurs only appear like a few meters in front of you because it's so foggy. And then you have to shoot all of them. Like, okay. I also played Eye of the Dragon on a PC. Like all the dinosaur or dragon-like games was PC games and not really on a Nintendo. So, but Turok and Eye of the Dragon, yes. And I really liked Eye of the Dragon. Which Mario Party is your favorite? There is not really a favorite since every game, every game is unique and special in its own way. And I do enjoy them all. Like everyone has its own nice maps and unique little features and all the mini games. The Mario Party I've played the most was on the Switch because it was easier to set it up. When will we get a face reveal? I would say at 1 million on YouTube. Next. Do you plan to or have already played Pokemon competitive? It would be really cool to see you try. I personally am not that much into the Pokemon franchise, so I don't play much Pokemon at all. The only time I really actively played Pokemon was back then on the Game Boy Color. Last question. If you were starting from scratch today, would you create the same type of content? I've just started. What do you mean? I've started 3 months ago. I probably wouldn't change much, I guess. I don't know. Alright friends, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you again so much for helping me reaching 2,000 subscribers and for all your amazing questions. Your support truly means everything to me. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Also big shout out to all the artists making fan art of me. I really appreciate every one of you. Thank you all so much. Bye! But I can't express emotions while we're